Hi guys, welcome to the video. I hope you're all doing well. So this video has been a little bit of an epic battle to get this to you. I lost half of the footage and then I had to redo it, and especially around this time of year, these kind of longer videos are pretty a little bit strenuous to get together, and it's been quite chaotic around here this year, so we will just jump into it. So this video would be, this is probably my biggest art haul of 2022, and that's why I wanted to get it out before the new year. So it's comprised of a whole bunch of different art supplies, but particularly this old cigar box. So I got this off Etsy and I have filled it with, you can see there's a couple of them there and we'll talk about them, but I filled it with pastels. So generally every year I've been like creating and curating a watercolor palette, and this year I worked on a pastel palette. So we'll talk a little bit more about it, but you can see here that I've also collected a few other antique or vintage items which I really enjoy. So this one is like a little vintage creamer that I got off Etsy, and I find these sort of older and just beautiful things is kind of a moment of visual repose. So I actually wrote this in the front of my one of my sketchbooks, a visual repose, and repose is a so like a moment of peace and tranquility after a lengthy strain or exertion. I think that's really lovely. You know, kind of sitting down at your desk at the end of the day or wherever you're sitting to kind of do a little bit of art, and you have something lovely to look at and something that's already inspiring you in that space. So you can see here I got this like cut crystal or etched crystal little tray off Etsy. So again, it's supposed to be like something for the kitchen, but I really love having it at the side there to keep my pens in so that they don't kind of end up all around the table. So as well as the creamer and the crystal thing, I also got this other one. So they're on Etsy. They're not too expensive. You can generally find them for around $20 to $30. But this one is like a relish tray or relish dish. And yeah, I've been sort of curating this little selection of pastels that I can have kind of at the ready if I just want to add some little touches over the top of the watercolor. So generally I am not a pastel artist, but I really love pastels. I have been collecting them since before I collected, and you can see kind of that is how it is at the minute, but I've been collecting them since before watercolors, and I would just grab a couple at the art store, even just like 2 or 3, and I ended up with a little, like a chocolate box full of like about 15 or 20 pastels that I have for several years, and I just really loved it. I loved looking at them. I didn't really ever use them, but I find them very inspiring, and I really love, you know, the colors. So you can see this beautiful cigar box. Again, I got this just off Etsy, just searching cigar boxes or antique cigar boxes or something. And what I've done is I've made this other just tray out of watercolor paper, and I'll show you how I did that in a minute. But I just made that to sit on top, and then I have the bottom, and you can see this beautiful box. I wish that just art supplies came in boxes like this, but so the bottom one is for the blues and the cooler colors, and the top tray is for the like pinks and oranges, yellows, warmer colors. So this is something that you can do with your art supplies, that you don't necessarily have to go out and buy a whole bunch of new art supplies. You may have, you know, oil pastels or neo colors or things like that that you can already just maybe buy a new storage item that will just enhance them and really increase like that you want to go and use them, and you just enjoy looking at them or something, being inspired by them. So you can see that so I had a bunch of footage of when they were coming in, but I lost most of that, so yeah, they came in, oh, and I'll talk about that in a minute because I just want to show you here. So I did put some like makeup cotton face pads underneath there, and I am probably going to get like some organic cotton batting to actually, you know, put like some on top and some on the bottom. But so you can see that like I just took out this little part from the box, and I've created these lines on each of the four corners. They're all going vertical, and then I took my crochet hook and a ruler and I just kind of like embossed in a line there so that I could fold it easily. And then I've just, where I've made a cut down those vertical lines, and then the other one has folded in, and then I've just stapled those. I stapled a little bit of silk ribbon on the side so I could pull it up and out easily. And it's not the sturdiest tray, but it does the job, and I've just enjoyed having them stacked in here. So what was I saying before? So I also have this other one which I talked about in a little bit in one of the last videos. I think my favorite art supplies for the year. So I think what I'm going to do with this one is every month change out the supplies that are in here that you know, make a little color palette, or different supplies that maybe I wasn't using and that I want to try and use. So yeah, that's the plan for that. And then rather than swatch all of the pastels in this video, because that's going to be another long run, what I've just done is pulled out a selection, so one from each type of pastel that I got, and so we will just swatch those so you can kind of see the differences and how they swatch. So the other thing I wanted to say about this is I got pastels from 3 different places, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a little while. But so this one is the Jack Richeson half stick. So I think one of the first pastels that I got were the Jack Richeson full hand rolled ones. So I really like these minis because you get to try more colors. So I think they're $2 something. I got these ones from Fine Art Store. So I really like getting pastels from either Dakota or Fine Art Store. I got some from Blick, and they always send me one of the wrong colors. So like a couple of times, you know, every time I've ordered from there, I've gotten one of the wrong colors. So I'm not sure. But I really love Dakota and Fine Art for their pastels. That's what it's going to say. But so this one is Mount Vision, and you can see I did some size comparisons there, but this is a really beautiful pastel. So I was actually really surprised how much I enjoyed those Mount Vision ones. This one is a Rembrandt, and these are a hard pastel. So like the two we've already swatched are very soft and creamy. This is a hard pastel. I like having some of these to do some detail, but yeah, they're not going to give you that kind of soft creamy pastel experience. And then some of the harder ones are a little bit like when you're trying to blend them out, they don't, because they're not really, you know, to be used for that. But you can see that these ones, I mean, it did blend out well, but it's just a different experience. So then this one here is a Blockx, and these just come with no wrapping, just in a bit of styrofoam. They are quite a generously sized pastel, but you can see still the Mount Vision. They are such a beaut. Like I really loved, out of all these, I was really shocked how much I really enjoyed the Mount Vision ones, and I think I will get some more of those. So this one is a Blockx, and again this is a harder one. It's a little bit like the Rembrandt, but you can see it doesn't smooth out as well, but that might be what you're looking for. So this one here is a Diane Townsend soft form. I also really love the Diane Townsend ones. I love the soft form one. This one is an especially beautiful one. So it's a very pale lavender. It's got a little bit of pink sparkle in it. I can't really capture how beautiful it is on camera, but this one is a De La Rowney. So again, this is in that hard pastel realm, and yeah, this is actually a really beautiful hard pastel. I really enjoyed this one as well. And you can see here again, like as a hard pastel, it doesn't necessarily yeah, smooth out that well. But these ones are Terrages, so Diane Townsend Terrages. They're kind of a rectangle shape. They have a little bit more tooth in them, so they're a little bit like the La Maison ones that I really love. But these are a really beautiful pastel as well. I think that the Diane Townsend and the Mount Vision are my two standouts. I really, really love them. I also enjoyed this Great American pastel. So these are like a square shape. They're actually also a really beautiful pastel. And you can see just the selection of colours there I really love. So I got this Great American one in a sparkly one, and then I got another colour. I think it was the very lightest Paris one, but yeah, I got that from Blick and they sent me a different one. So this one here is the Art Spectrum, and this is more of a hard pastel, but it's a little bit softer than the other ones. So I actually also really enjoyed the Art Spectrum one as well. So yeah, that's a little bit of a roundup of the different brands, and yeah, again, you can get those at those you can get them at a lot of different places, but I would just encourage you to maybe try one or two, and you can see that even just trying a couple in the different brands, you can end up with a really beautiful palette, and then you also get to try those, but you're more likely to use them even if you didn't sort of end up enjoying that brand, or you wanted a softer or a different pastel. I think you'll still end up gravitating towards it, because if you kind of are careful with the selection and you buy it like colours that you really enjoy. So what I decided to do, because I wasn't going to be able to swatch them all in this video, I just kind of pulled out a few more of my favourites, and I will swatch those for you and then kind of just show you what the colours are. Yeah, and hopefully that helps a little bit. Yeah. I will also try and leave like a list of these colours below, and I think if you've seen the 2022 favourite watercolours video, you'll find like these are very similar colours to that as well. So really I've been gravitating towards this kind of more muted natural colour palette this year. So I also just did this quick sketch in the bottom, was inspired by the scene from the actual knitting shop that we've been going to through the summer. So when I was first doing this video, it was August, or yeah, I think around August, and this was kind of the scenery that we were seeing on the Hudson River. So it was really beautiful. And yeah, the knitting shop we were going to is just like a street away, so we kept going down to the banks there, and then my sister was like, I kept saying, like, you know, I wish we could go on a boat, and she was saying yeah, and do knitting. So really taking it to the next level. But the next thing that we have here is just some cheap brushes. So these are off Amazon. You can see like they were Pro Crafter's Choice or something, but I just liked the rose gold kind of metal. And they are not, these brushes are more for like applying glues or applying things that I don't want to use my good brushes for. So like maybe gold leaf mediums or things like that. So, but you can see here that they are beautiful brushes. I mean, this is something more than, like, when I first started, you know, doing watercolor, I was just using like some cheap brush from Walmart, just like a kid's brush, whatever I could find, you know, lying around. So yeah, so these are definitely, you know, if you are looking for brushes just to start with and you don't want to invest in a like really good brush, like I always recommend the Assorted ones. They were my go-to brushes for like the first 5 years or something. Really, really beautiful. I used it almost every day, and yeah, just it's a really lovely brush. But yeah, I'm just kind of showing you here that, you know, whatever brushes that you have, you can paint and just work with them. So yeah, we're just painting a little flower here, and I'm just kind of showing you these brushes. But I think I do quite a few videos on brushes, especially at Christmas time. I love a good brush for Christmas, and I think yeah, it's such a helpful tool. And I mean, it's something that hopefully you can get a brush that you really enjoy and that resonates with you. So I got these Sennelier pastel brushes, and the first one that I got is this Da Vinci one, and we will use that in a moment. But that is, you can see it's like a larger one. Then I got a packet of the Sennelier ones, and you can see the sizing. So the Da Vinci one says 8, but the 8 in the Sennelier one is definitely more like a 6 in, you know, an Assorted, or like the brushes that I'm using, like the Raphael one at the minute. So yeah, we're kind of gonna show you here like the pastel brushes and the reasons I do and don't like them for pastels, but I really enjoyed using it for watercolor. I actually really like the pastel brushes. So yeah, I was just kind of having a play here with some pastels and then kind of trying out the brush. But what you'll see is that the and kind of what I was hoping to kind of just be able to kind of paint the pastel like this, but you can see that and, you know, blend it. But in some of the shots you'll see these kind of little poofs of like a little cloud of pigment that just comes up. And especially working with and I do like see here, like you can kind of transfer the colour, so you can use little bits of that pastel and then just start painting on something somewhere else. But I don't want these kind of little clouds of smoke, especially a lot of the pastels come with a warning label, so I just think that is something to be aware of, and I won't be using that, especially like indoors or anything like that. But I will try them with, so I've got some Art Spectrum paper that you can see there. I got some Art Spectrum paper that has like a lot more of a tooth on it, that's more for pastels. So we will try these pastel brushes on that paper, because possibly it's a little bit easier to kind of use them, and they don't create such you know, a little pigment explosion from on that type of toothy paper, because there's more, you know, places for the pastel to go into those grooves, if that makes sense. But at any rate, if you have pastel brushes and you use them, or you have experience with them, I'd love to know. So let us know in the comments, you know, your thoughts, or, you know, how you use them. So the other thing I'm showing you here is that I just close the page and just press the paper onto itself to get all that pigment back into the page. So I don't usually blow it off or tap it off. I just and you shouldn't blow off the pigment anyway, but like just tap it off or anything. I just usually press it back into the paper so there's more you know, more pigment load and more layers to build on there. So I'm using the largest Sennelier brush here. I think it's the number 12. And then again, I'm just kind of having a play using it with some watercolor and just seeing, you know, whether or not that is doable. And yeah, so watercolor, this is just the art creation sketchbook. Watercolor is not necessarily, I mean, this paper is not necessarily the best for anything, but I've just been really enjoying using it just for like scratch paper like this, and just to kind of figure something out to see if this works or if that works, or and then once I kind of can get a feel for it, I will grab out a sketchbook with some better paper and yeah, just try, you know, something a little bit more in that. So those were two really enjoyable little exercises to do, and again, you can follow along and do these kinds of things with the supplies that you have. That's why I like to you know, do something like this with the supplies. So you can always use the watercolors or oil pastels or anything that you have and just try some of these florals and things like that. So the first one that I got was this Da Vinci one, and as soon as I got it, I absolutely loved it, and I loved the size, I loved the shape, and yeah, so I just set about in my, this is the Caval sketchbook, and I just got out some of the pastels, and this was just after Rhinebeck, so, and this was a really beautiful shimmery pastel as well. So I talked in a little bit in the Rhinebeck video about this cloud, this little pink cloud that you know, as we were kind of leaving, there was just one little cloud in the sky, and then as we were driving, the sky got more of a taupe color and like that, this kind of really beautiful color, and then the cloud got like a little pink, like kind of lining around it, and yeah, I just was thinking about it, and I wanted to just, and this is kind of different to how it looked, but I just wanted to kind of dream in that moment a little bit. So I got my pastels out and just different colors I was gravitating towards that day, and just had a little bit of a go of the cloud, and then you can see I'm like adding shimmer in, and yeah, I just tried out the pastel brush, and then I think this was where I could see like the pastel brush was making it a little bit muddy, so it wasn't really working, but I just really loved using the brush. So yeah, it may end up becoming a watercolor brush, we'll see. But so I also, you can see the Girault brand of pastel there in the middle. I actually forgot to swatch that for you as well, so I just got one of those. I have two of those now, and I really do like them, but they're a very petite pastel. It's a beautiful consistency. It's like a very melty consistency, but yeah, I just wanted to show you that in size comparison there. So okay, the next thing that we have are these Caran d'Ache pastel pencils. So they're the same size as the museum aquarelles. I have heard that they are difficult to sharpen. So, and I know that a few of you have left suggestions for sharpening and things in the previous videos, so feel free to do that again so that anyone watching this video can have an idea of that. I haven't actually tried any of those. I think I'm going to try and just get an X-Acto knife and try that, but yeah, we'll see. So yeah, I'm just kind of, you can see here I'm just showing you like with the pastels, you can use one of these tortillons, or like it's like a cotton, just cotton rolled paper, and you can use that to blend them. You could use a cotton bud. I just often like to just use my fingers, and then I'm just using the pastel pencil here to go over the top and just try some different things and kind of see like the type of detail or how fine the line you can get, and you know, do they work over the top of other pastels and things like that. So I was really happy with these. They're a really beautiful, like I really love the size and the weight of the actual pencil. They're a little bit thicker than like a normal coloured pencil. The colour of the barrel is really beautiful, this kind of natural wood, and yeah. So these are something I've been collecting for the past year, or maybe a little over that. Every time I have a little bit of affiliate money, I actually get like 4 or 5 of these. So thank you guys for that. I really appreciate using those links, and also letting Jacksons know that you enjoy the videos and the you know, art supplies that I share and things. So, and you don't have to buy what's in the link, you can just click the link and just shop as normal. But yeah, so these colors, you can see here, like every time I will go to get a few, I just pick a few colors that are inspiring me that time. And you can see like you end up with this really beautiful array of colors. So I haven't got any blues yet because every time I go to get them, they seem to always be out of stock. But yeah, they're just really, really lovely earthy colors, really, really beautiful. And rather than swatch them out again in this video, I'm just showing you here the color names and the numbers, and then we'll do a whole nother video once I have gotten the blues and kind of rounded out the ones that I want. I'll do another video kind of showing all those. So this is my little box of oil pastels and sorry, are they oil? What are they? The oil paint sticks, the paint sticks, and the just oil paints. So I started creating this maybe in 2020 or 2019. I can't remember, but this is still kind of an ongoing process and project. I just have not really had the time to kind of sit down and do what I wanted to do with that. But what I have done is I did get this oval wooden it's actually a really beautiful frame, and then I got this paint tin and some walnut oil and a couple of different brushes. So I think the walnut oil can go in there, and then I think I can actually use that to clean the brushes. I'm not really sure. I'm still trying to figure all this out, and I will show you like videos once I get it done. I really enjoyed this Raphael brush. It was actually on Amazon for a really good deal, so like $13 maybe or something. Yeah, so I highly recommend just keeping an eye on brushes on Amazon that you might have your eye on, because pretty often there's a good deal there as well. So the next thing here is a little box of, these are different pastels. These are, what were they? So these are the Jack Richeson Assorted Sauce. So again, I'll link it below, but you can see the beautiful kind of really moody, earthy colours. Again, these are a little bit of a harder pastel, but really beautiful for sketching things. Just trying out different things. You can see like you can get the different line widths here as well. And then along with this little box of the type of kind of green muted colours, and they kind of remind me of the eucalyptus colours, I also got this little Derwent extra large charcoal, and yeah, these have some more browns and earthy muted colours as well. So I'll just show you kind of different colours here. You can also buy these singly as well, so you can just get one and try one. But these are nice for blocking in large areas, and then you can also use the sides to do more detail. So you can see there that the white is not very opaque. Yeah, but the range of colours is really beautiful. I especially love those three. But yeah, so what I decided to do with these was, again, just another little quick sketch and do one of the frames. And again, you can follow along and do something like this with supplies that you have. This would also be really beautiful, like, because I'm using these kind of earthy muted colours, but you know, you can use pinks, lilacs, you know, powder blues and things like that as well. Like when I'm looking at this, I'm also seeing those colours. So I was just kind of trying these little branches, didn't really work out. So the nice thing about this is that you can just kind of smooth everything out when you know, if you're not really liking what is going on there, and it just creates a really beautiful background. And again, rather than tapping that off, I just press it into the paper. Yeah, and then I just ended up sort of creating a rose. Okay, so the next thing that I have for this haul are sketchbooks, but I did create an entire video just based, you know, just for the sketchbooks. So you can see what they are, you can see watercolor used in all of them, and yeah, just a really lovely array of kind of different quality, different price points and things like that. I especially loved, so this Academy one, both of these, I loved the velvet wrapped one. I'll show you in a minute. I got one for my mum for Christmas, but this Academy one, so really love the quality of this. It's such a beautiful sketchbook. I love the stitching. Yeah, just, but and it is a small, like this is an A6, but you couldn't open it, like you just could not open it. So I, you know, and I had heard that about it, so I wanted to do something so that I could use it, because it's just a really beautiful, I love the kind of more fawn coloured paper as well, really lovely. So what I did was I didn't do it from the front, so you can kind of still open it and, you know, it looks fine, but from the back here I actually just separated the text block from the actual back cover. So I'll show you how I did that, so that, and then when you open it now, it lays perfectly flat. Now I did this because I knew that the text block in an A6, it's not that heavy, it's not going to move, like it's very sturdy on the front cover. And then yeah, you can cover that up just with some washi tape. You could also put like a little bit of you know, like a bit of ribbon or fabric or something on there if you were worried about it, but I think it's going to be absolutely fine. So what I did was I took this bone folder, and which is like a book binding tool, but you could just put something down there that fits, and kind of separate that as far away. What I wanted to do was cut it as far away from the text block as I could. So you can see I don't want it to be cutting it down that crease where the binding is, like where it's been sewn, otherwise the whole book will come apart. So I've left about probably a centimetre there, so that is secure. It's not I'm not interrupting the book binding. And then just to secure that and make it look a little bit tidier, I just put some washi tape down there. So it's absolutely fine. I think for my purposes, again, like you could once it's open, you could secure it a different way, leaving room for it to open like that. But yeah, yeah, I'm now really happy with it. Like I can just open it and use it freely, which is so nice. So I also got this velvet raptor one, which is supposed to be like a wedding guest book or something like that, but I just think it's so beautiful, and I love, again, that like moment of visual repose, being able to use it and just enjoy it every day. So this is the one that I actually got for my mum. You can see it's not that much more expensive, but you get like 3 times as much sketchbook. And then you do have like lined paper on one side and then blank paper on the other side. But yeah, she was really happy with that. That's a beautiful book. So, and I'm just kind of showing you here the colour of the paper so you can see the differences there. But so I just went to the back of the Academy one and I used a few different mediums, some neo colours, some pastels which don't really like this paper, and yeah, just I always go to the back and try things out. So the other thing that I got was this Art Creations one. So this is a really affordable one. A lot of people have these. I think you'll see them all over YouTube. And then I went to just try the paper out and I was pleasantly surprised with the paper. I really enjoyed using just pencil on it, watercolor, yeah. And then I even used the Da Vinci, the Ethograph. So this is like, it's like silver point, but rather than needing you know, something to coat the surface so the silver can grab onto it, the Ethograph just burnishes the metal onto the paper, and this paper really handles it beautifully. So yeah. And so another thing I just replaced, this was in my Christmas gift guide a couple of years ago, and then I lost it last year, and so I finally replaced it. So yeah, I think we're nearly at the end here as well, guys, but this has been a long one. So in the middle is the brush fountain pen that I got, and I'm just showing you, that is a lamy, so that's the aluminum lamy. And then this, you can see like they've kind of tried to make it look like a lamy, but you can really feel the cheap quality of the plastic. So I think this was just like $12 on Amazon. And the reason I wanted, I'm looking for a brush, so I really do not like water brushes. I don't like the feel of the nylon tip. I don't feel like it gives me a good result when I am painting. I have this Kuretake number 8, so I do like this one. I like the tip. I do really enjoy using this. And then I was looking for kind of something that was maybe a little bit more substantial than this though. But yeah, I still probably like this one better, I think, the Kuretake number 8. But the Kuretake comes with just a cartridge, and this brush pen comes with a cartridge converter. You can see there like the little red thing. So it gave me a chance to pull out my inks, which I really loved. So that's a little box of sample inks, and then this is another cigar box filled with just ink bottles. And yeah, you can see more of these and the swatches and everything over on Heirloom Luxe. But these are my little Apica notebooks. So this will be the 5th year that I use one of these, and I just fill it up throughout the year with swatches, and it just kind of becomes a scratch pad for different things that I'm trying, things I'm thinking about. I can go back and see what supplies I was using that year, and it's just a really nice little place to keep all these things. So I just went back and I was looking through like the inks that I have, and maybe possibly what I'd like to put into the fountain pen. So I grabbed out the Kaweco Smoky Grey, I think it is, and this is Rose Gilt Tint. This is one of my favorites. It's got like a shimmer. It's a Robert Oster ink, and I was thinking that I might put like both of those in. Like basically with the cartridge converter, I'll show you in a moment, you just dip the thing in and then you twist it and the ink will come up, and I was thinking I could dip it in both. So you can see here, like you just dip it in and twist it and the ink comes up, and I was thinking I could dip it in both of those. But yeah, once I had the Robert Oster Rose Gilt Tint in, I really did enjoy it. So I just have that in there at the minute. And I think I put the Smoky Grey actually in the Kuretake number 8. So I have kind of both of those in there to use I actually did this before I went to Rembrandt because I was hoping to get a little bit of sketching, and I thought that this would be a nice way to kind of use these colours with some watercolours and yeah, kind of do things that way. But yeah, I didn't end up having time. I'm always kind of trying to get these little portable art sets going, but I really never get to use them out and about, which is fine. But yeah, so this is the box set that I got this year. So I did do an entire video just about these oil pastels. Beautiful product. I really love them, and yeah, you'll definitely be seeing more of these on the channel. So we do quite a few things in that video. Okay, so the last thing is not an art supply, but I do really use these for inspiration, for color inspiration and things like that. So I have, over the last couple of years, I've been collecting a little supply of some yarn, so some wool. These ones are from Hedgehog Fibers, and I was actually thinking of doing a pressed flowers shawl for those of you who are knitters. And possibly using something like, so the brighter colors as the background, and then something either more muted like these for the flowers. But I'm actually thinking maybe to go for like a hot pink. But yeah, I really enjoy, so I just have like a little drawer full of some you know, wool and some yarn, and I haven't been making a lot of knitting progress, but I'll show you at the end. But yeah, so but I do really enjoy the feeling of the yarns, and then just the colors, the color combinations that the dyes create are really beautiful. So yeah. So for example, this is a little yarn haul from, so 3 of them are mine, a few from my mum, a few from my sister, from one of our trips to the yarn shop in the summer. Yeah, so this is the bright pink that I'm thinking maybe of using for the pressed flower shawl. But yeah, I really love just being able to go in and like the yarn is very tactile, and the different yarns are really beautiful, and then the colors. So yeah, but again, this is just another place where I get inspiration for art. So you know, inspiration can come from a lot of different resources. And yeah, so what else? I also just wanted to let you know that I am really sorry I haven't been able to post more videos over December. I have just been inundated, and usually I edit, sometimes film and do the voiceovers and everything at night, and I've just been too tired at the end of the day. So I hope you all had a really lovely Christmas. I hope you have a lovely New Year's, and I'm hoping, so I have a little bit of a storage backup, so until I can get some of this footage off for the course that I've been working on, I have a little bit of a storage issue. So I am not sure exactly how and when I can film at the minute and get these classes to you. I've been working on this class for, it'll be 2 years in May, so there's also a couple of other courses that I want to link for you below as well. So 3 definite ones that I would love to take as well. And yeah, I'll put links to all of that info below. And so where we've just been in this park, this is a little bit more like, so if you just add Christmas lights, this would be what Christmas in Australia is like. Very sunny and bright. And yeah, this is not how our winter is now. You'll see winter in a minute. We had our first snow a couple of weeks ago, and it's been quite rainy actually. It was sunny on Christmas, and yeah, this was a really beautiful little lake that we passed one day. Other than that, I will show you a couple of the things that we have been getting up to this month. So one thing is we have been winding quite a bit of wool, and I've wanted to knit this lace beret. I put it in my knitting playlist, which you can find on my channel. So it's just from YouTube. It's this lace beret. So this is the first thing I've kind of officially knit like an actual piece of clothing. I'm also knitting my mum some socks. So I'm just making up this pattern and kind of adding a cable down the side. And then you can see the progress on the lace beret. So I've started the lace work, and yeah, it's been really enjoyable. I have wanted to do this for quite a while. So yeah, I wasn't sure if I could do it, but it seems to be working out okay. And then the one thing we did, if you watched my vlogmas from last year, we were doing the 12 days of Christmas. And so this year, just my sister got a 12 days of Christmas, and we kind of did it lucky dip style. So I didn't have to wrap anything. I just put it all into a bag, and then each day she could pull something out, which was really fun. And so we did, basically she got baking supplies, and then we did baking for everyone. So I think we only got through like 6 or 7 days of the baking, but there was quite a fair amount of things. I think the crowd favourites were pavlova and the scones. This was like a gingerbread cake, I think. So yeah, the pavlovas, kind of, we started with meringues, and then it didn't work out a few times. I'm not sure what we were doing, maybe not leaving the eggs out to room temperature and things like that. But anyway, this was like the second pavlova that we made. We put stewed pears on the top because we didn't have any actual like fruit and berries, and yeah, grated a little bit of chocolate. She made some cheddar and chive scones as well. So just been doing a few of those kind of baking adventures. And for decorating for Christmas, so there we go, that was our first snow. So our little dog Rosie, she really loves the snow. Yeah, so it was a beautiful morning, but I wanted to show you that for actual Christmas, we left everything too late. We ended up just getting a little, like a baby tree from Whole Foods. And actually, while we were there, a lady next to us in line asked me about the tree in the trolley, and so we went, and my dad was like scrambling around the store, and he found the last one for her, and we got her one as well. So but yeah, so anyway, it was quite small. And so what I did is I actually went out, like I think it was the morning before Christmas, and I couldn't find secateurs that were or like pruning shears that were big enough for the branches. So I ended up having this little handsaw, and I was walking around the yard like getting branches, so to make this kind of mantle garland. And yeah, I really love like wrapping presents and just the quiet of like Christmas Eve. And you can see our little tree there. We also got like these roses and a Christmas amaryllis, which was really beautiful as well. So you can see like the colour of these roses. Oh, it was so nice. But yeah, so like the poor little tree, she really wanted her toys there as well. So they each got a toy Christmas Eve, the animals. What was I saying? Yeah, so I was out there like pruning like this like little mound of like pine branches, different pine branches to do the garland. And I'll show you in a minute how I kind of put that together. I figured out a way that's fairly easy. I actually started with just one tree that's got like sage kind of green branches, not the deep green, but they, like you can see on the top there, but they didn't, I couldn't get enough branches, and then I ended up getting this other pine which has the really nice wispy branches, so it all worked out. But what I was doing was just stacking them on top, so I'd have like the darker green one on the bottom, and then a couple of these like pale green ones on top, and then I would just zip tie that around. And so I basically did that for the whole garland there. So yeah, it actually takes like, apart from like going out and sort of collecting the branches, it's very, very quick. Like you don't have to have the floral wire. You can just kind of do that, and you only need, I think I probably used like 14 maybe for that whole garland. And yeah, it ended up working out okay. So anyway guys, I hope you had a really lovely December, and I will see you soon with some new videos. Bye.